Stay tuned as we check out this Marvel Legends Marvel 80 years anniversary Thor. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we are taking a look at this Marvel Legends Marvel 80 years anniversary Thor, or the mighty Thor as it says on the box. And this is obviously Thor in his classic look, which I'm very happy about because I don't actually have a classic looking Thor in my collection at the minute. And yeah, he looks good. So you can see his big cape at the back there. He's wearing his trademark helmet that we see in the comics all the time. Comes with an interchangeable fist, it seems, and then of course his hammer. And I like that his hammer actually has the scripture on it as well, which Odin reads in the films and whatnot, but I'll zoom in and hopefully be able to show you that. But that looks good, but I like the packaging, I like the design of the box, and I like the look of Thor. And I like the look at all three of these Marvel Legends 80-year anniversary packs. Really good, probably the best version in comic book form, or in figure form of these comic book characters, with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, the Holy Trinity. Going to look really good, going to find a nice place on the display for these guys. They look great. But today I'm looking at Thor, and as I said, the box, simple, smart, easy. On the side there we get a nice picture of Thor from the comics. On the back we get a little write-up that reads, Thor, a mighty Asgardian, Thor is the god of thunder and the son of Odin. King of the Asgardians, he wields the hammer Mjolnir and has the power to call lightning from the heavens to strike down his enemies. So we all know who Thor is. Let's get him open and have a look at the figure. So here is Thor out of the box, and first impressions are obviously very high. I'm liking the look of all of these classic looking comic book characters. Definitely needed the Thor for my shelf personally. He doesn't come with any accessories though, apart from his hammer, which is holding, but you can't buy a Thor without a hammer. That just wouldn't make any sense. He comes with a fisted hand. So we don't even get two fists, we just get the one. So you can either have this hand here, which is sort of like, I don't know, the sort of grabby hand, but I suppose that's for when he's wielding the power of thunder and lightning and whatnot. So let me just take that off and plug in the fisted hand. So there you go, that simple. Now Thor has a fisted hand. Easy. So a lot of people are very curious of the size of this guy, like how is he going to fit into scale amongst your display? So let me answer that question and get the tape measure out. So there he is standing up. And as you can see, he's about 7 inches tall, not including the wings. If you include the wings on his helmet, he's about 7.5. So I don't really have a classic Thor in my collection, to be fair. But I do think that's a good height because he's got to stand taller than your average 6-inch figures. So if he's standing at 7 inch, that should make a lot of sense. The cape isn't touching the floor, as you can see there. It's above the floor, but it is a little bit back heavy, so it is going to take a little bit of balance work to get him to stand. But as you can see, he will stand on his own, not a problem. Now, I thought the cape was removable, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be moulded within the shoulder joint. I even took the head off to see if I could take the cape off, and it seems to be stuck in place. And it's that standard Marvel Legends plastic. It's quite stiff. It's not too soft. And you could use it as a kickstand, I guess, if you wanted to, but why would you do that? But yeah, it looks like a classic looking Thor. Let's zoom in and check out those details, and we'll also look at that scripture on the hammer. So there's a closer look at Thor, and I do like the face sculpt. It is a sort of young Thor from the comics, I suppose, with that long blonde hair. The wings on the helmet are nicely sculpted. They seem a little bit warped in the packaging, but nothing major, but a bit of hot water, cold water, you can get those nice and straight if you wanted to. As I said, the head will pop off like that, and there are the cape. So the cape, you can see, is actually molded into the shoulder joints. So I don't want to pull the cape out in case I break it, but you see how it's sort of molded within the shoulder joints. So I reckon if I pulled it, it probably would come out, but I don't want to. So that is how the cape is in place. So you're not going to be able to get this Thor without a cape unless you're cutting it out. But looking at the rest of the figure, he's got his trademark sort of circles on his sort of design, and then he's got the T on the belt, and he's got a diaphragm joint rather than an ab crunch, which I'm sure people will appreciate, so plenty of movement on that. He still has waist swivel as well under the belt, so the belt is a moulded piece, it's not a separate piece. Actually, is it? Maybe, I don't know, but either still, it's decent waist swivel. You got a cut at the bicep, yeah, there is a cut at the bicep, but there's also a cut at the thigh, and there's a swivel on the boot as well. It's hidden within all these wraps. So there's those shoes with all these wraps up onto the knee pads, and of course double jointed knees, and decent articulation for the legs as well. No problem there. So I think you're going to be happy with the range of articulation and whatnot on your Thor. Let's take a look at the hammer. So let's hope it focuses. It says, whoever holds the hammer, if BD worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. I think that's what it says. It's so small I can't really tell. I suppose I should know that classic line from the comics. But yeah, you get the gist. So obviously that's a separate piece. So you can have the Thor hammer separately, not a problem. Or you can just have him holding it there like that, and then maybe he can swing it around and fly away. I also noticed as I was swapping the hands back that these wrist pieces are a separate piece. So if you're wanting to have bare arms, you can do that. So jumping straight into comparisons, here he is compared to two of the Thors that I have. This is the Unworthy Thor, and this is the Thor from that Disney Store 5-pack, I believe. And as you can see, this 5-pack version is massive. He's definitely taller than this one, and this guy is taller than the Unworthy Thor. So I think this is a good scale, because I think this is probably a bit too big, and this guy will fit more into your collection with the rest of your figures. So yeah, definitely this guy is the better Thor out of the three. People may ask for a head swap, so let's see if that will work. I don't know why you like that head, but no, that doesn't work. It just doesn't make sense. Will that head work on this one? Yeah, that just doesn't make sense, does it? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Here we have Thor compared to the All-Father Builder figure from way back in 2015. And I do think this is a much better scale for Thor and Odin, as Odin should be a little bit taller than Thor, but not by too much. So yeah, that works out well. I don't have my Loki yet from the new Avengers wave, but I'm assuming he's more of a normal 6-inch figure, so he will fit in scale with all of these. Here we have Thor compared to Jane Foster Thor from the comics, and I don't know why Jane Foster was Thor. It was never a good idea. And here we have Thor compared to some more ladies from the Asgardian realm. And here we have Sif and Loki from the A-Force box set, and of course Angela as well. I think she's in the Titus Build-A-Figure wave, but I could be wrong. But he scales really well. He's taller than them all, as he should be, but not by too much, as they are Asgardians, so they should all be big and powerful as well. And lastly, but by no means least, here we have Thor compared to the two other Marvel 80th anniversary figures with Iron Man and Captain America. Now look how good these three stand together, and if you're watching this and hearing my voice now, then I have reviews of all three of these up on my channel right now. So click the eye in the corner of the screen, check out the videos tab or the playlist. I have reviews of all three of these and they look great. In my opinion, the best comic version of each of these characters, and they're going to find pride and place on my shelf. So, final thoughts, I think people are going to be very happy with this guy. The only disappointing thing is that because of the hair, you can't get him looking back. So he can't look up to the skies when he's calling down his lightning. But his body does have a decent range of articulation for a big figure like he is. So I don't think people are going to be disappointed with that. It's just the head won't go up and down. But everything else, the articulation is where it should be and it's good. It's just the cape is unremovable, so people may be disappointed with that as well. But I wouldn't be displaying my Thor without his cape, so personally that doesn't bother me too much. And I really like how the hammer actually has the scripture of Thor written in it. It's just a nice little detail, and details like that make a difference in our tiny little universes we build on our shelves. So you let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you going to be trying to track down this Thor? Have you got Captain America and Iron Man? Are you going to be getting the Holy Trinity of Marvel yourself for your displays? Let me know in the comments below. And if there's also any more comparisons you want me to do with these three guys, I may throw up an extra video comparing them to some other comic book based Avengers. So please let me know in the comments if you'll be interested in seeing something like that. But yeah, as always, people, you know what to do. Go and check out the videos tab, the playlist, and most importantly, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. Plenty more reviews to come on the channel, and I shall see you on the next one.